Hi, this is Rochelle with Scrapcraftastic, and I'm going to share with you today a double pocket folder for a pocket-sized traveler's notebook. I've got a few tutorials up on how to create a pocket folder in laminated version and just a plain paper version. Because I already have those tutorials up, I'm just going to skip through that part. I'm going to speed through the part of making the outside part of the folder, because with the double pocket, it's basically that part of the process is the same. And then I'll talk through making the extra pocket. So yeah, I hope you stick around and watch, and I'll be back. Okay, so this is my first attempt at narration, so please bear with me. This is the basic folder for a pocket size that we've created before. Now we're going to go ahead and make the extra pocket that will make this a double pocket size folder for a traveler's notebook. And what I'm doing here is cutting my paper down to the correct width. I'm cutting off the edges because I wanted a certain part of the inside of the folder to a certain part of the decorative paper to show on the inside of the paper of the folder. Ugh, I can't talk. So yeah, I'm just measuring and cutting. So now I have the correct size, and I'm going to go ahead and do my scoring, which is down the middle, which would be at 3.5 for a pocket size. I'm just burnishing that score and checking my handiwork. Okay, so I'm using a 1-inch punch, circle punch, and I'm going to measure so that I can get that punch, that notch centered in the middle of each pocket. So I take my ruler to find the center of the folded piece, and I'm going to mark a center mark, and then since it's a 1-inch punch, I'll mark 1/2 inch on either side of the center, and then I'll use that to help me line up the circle punch with each tick mark on either side of the circle, and I'm only going to cut a half circle to make the notch. So I'm just lining that up and giving it a punch. So basically that's it for your inside pocket. Now we're going to assemble the folder, make sure everything fits. And the inside piece needs to be a hair smaller in width and length than the actual finished folder size. So here I'm just making sure that everything is lining up properly on the original folder and burnishing those edges again, prepping it for the second pocket. Checking to make sure we don't have a pucker. If you can see there at the top, there is a pucker in the paper. That means that I need to trim off some of the edge. It's too tight up against the tabs. So I'm just going to cut off like a little less than 1/8 of an inch, maybe a 1/16 of an inch. Well, a little more than a 1/16, between 1/8 and a 1/16, just a little slither of paper to give it a little more room so that it's not butting up against the tabs, causing the pocket to pucker. We want everything to lay flat. So now just checking again to make sure that everything is going to lay flat when the folder is closed. You can see I have to trim off a little on the bottom also so that there is no overhang at the top of the folder where the notches are. So basically when you're cutting that pocket piece, you really need to cut it slightly smaller than the finished size of the folder, but it's probably best to go ahead and cut the actual finished size and then make adjustments as you go instead of trying to cut it smaller to begin with. So I removed another little slither from the bottom, and now I can just line the top up, line everything up and make sure it's fitting without the pucker. And now I'm just clipping, using paper clips to hold that inside pocket in place just to make sure it doesn't slide around while I am using the adhesive to make the bottom pockets and secure the side flaps. So I'm just using regular paper clips. You could probably use a binder clip. I chose paper clips because I didn't want to leave dents in the paper. And again, I'm folding, checking to make sure that it doesn't pucker once everything is put together. So I decided to use a double-sided red tape. I've only used it one other time, so I'm still playing around with it, seeing how I like it. And actually, if I were going to laminate this, I would have just used a glue stick. But since I want to keep this one just regular paper with no laminate, I chose a stronger adhesive. So I've got my adhesive down, and now I'm just trimming the excess. So now I've cleaned up all the excess red tape, and I'm just burnishing it down, making sure that it is sealed and adhered to the tabs well. And I am going to start removing, putting the folder together, adhering all the pieces. And I just peel up a little of the red tape, checking again to make sure it's folding correctly. And I just peel a little of the backing of the tape and just glue a small section at a time. This tape is really sticky. So yeah, it's pretty good. It's it has a very strong tack. And then I just slide the backing out from underneath the tab. And I'm just checking the flap again. It seemed like it was a little too snug, so I cut off another slither of the edge just to make sure that flap lays down flat. And I think part of it was the actual tape that was on there. It was in the score mark. And I'm fighting to get the backing off of the tape. So now everything is down. I'm checking the top again, and I'm not in frame. removing my paper clips. I'm going to give it one more burnish to make sure everything is fitting together properly, smoothly, and flat, nice and flat. And just checking, always checking. And voila, there you have it. A double pocket folder for a pocket-sized traveler's notebook. All set, ready to go. There's your pockets. As you can see, just demonstrating. I'm going to pop it in, even though I haven't rounded the corners yet. Pop it into my notebook so you can have a look, see how it looks. So there you have it, the double pocket folder for a pocket-sized traveler's notebook. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below along with your comments. And if you're not subscribed, please do. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.